Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the podcast. And today I'm going to go over some news and rumors specifically about WWE. Now, if you guys haven't seen, man, past couple days, past week-ish, we've been getting these weird clips from WWE, man. A lot of people have been talking about this where everybody's trying to figure out who this person is. We've been seeing these people walk in. In the video, we see people walk in wearing different shoes and everything else like that, and it's got the whole wrestling universe talking about who could this person be, who is this person, who are these people that WWE are showing in these weird videos on Twitter. So it got a lot of people talking, man. People were talking it could be the return of Santos Escobar, it could be the return of Gunther, it could be the return of Chris Jericho, it could be another debut. It got the whole wrestling world talking. And then WWE finally plays the video of what the entire clip of what the video was going to be, on all these little small videos they've been putting out, finally revealing what the video is all about. So, what the video was the fact that we saw Triple H walk through this room, and in this room we see Cody Rhodes sitting pretty much in this room. There's like a craps table there, or a poker table. And then we also see the likes of Roman Reigns. We also see the likes of CM Punk. And then we also see the likes of none other than Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. And this pretty much was showing a commercial leading us into WrestleMania 42, which will once again take place live from Las Vegas, Nevada. So I wanted to talk to you guys about how I felt about this, my thoughts, and everybody, wondering who this could be and everything else like that, and just my overall thoughts about this entire commercial, to be honest. Man, the commercial itself, did I think it was cool? Yeah. I mean, I've always hyped WWE's production. I think their production is above everybody else right now, including AEW, TNA. I mean, they are miles ahead as far as production is concerned, and they got the money to back them. I thought the commercial was shot very well. I really did. It really got me excited for WrestleMania 42, even though we're going back literally to the same damn place in Vegas, same stadium, if you will. I think it's the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium once again, Allegiant Stadium. And I gave my thoughts about that as far as the residency they have in Las Vegas. I just think it's ridiculous, but I thought the commercial was shot very well. The one funny thing I would say, man, is Lesnar, man. Brock Lesnar looked old as hell in this commercial, man. So I thought that was funny. A lot of people were even speculating, and like I said earlier, man, we're speculating who these people were that were walking in these clips that WWE were showing. Because all you saw was the feet of these people walking into whatever room they were walking into. So it got a lot of people speculating on who this could be, like Santos Escobar. I don't think WWE is going to go out of their way to do a video for Santos Escobar, number one. Number two, people were also saying that it was a return of Andrade. Honestly, as far as Andrade is concerned, bro, I'd be very shocked if WWE would either, number one, waste time, money, and production on Andrade with all the situations going on with him and all the bullshit that's going on around him. And two, I'll be shocked if Andrade comes back to WWE, bro. To be honest, that's just me personally. When people said, "Oh, it's a return of Andrade," hell no. And then there was the talks of Chris Jericho. Look, do I think Jericho is on his way back to WWE? Yes, I do. I think Jericho would be a fool to re-sign with AEW. There's nothing else left for Jericho to do in AEW. Nothing. Even if he came back and signed another 2-3 year deal, I mean, you would have to ask yourself what would be next for Jericho as far as the confines of AEW. There's nothing else left for that guy to do in AEW. He's literally done it all. So I do see Jericho going back to WWE. I think his contract ends in December. So we possibly could see the return of Jericho possibly at this year's Royal Rumble, or at the next Royal Rumble, and make his long-awaited return to WWE. So when people were like, "Oh, it's Jericho," well, bro, let's stop the press for a minute, because Jericho still signed to a contract with AEW until December. That's not saying that I don't think he's going back to WWE. No, I think he's going back to WWE. But I don't think Jericho was the person that was obviously in that video. Other people were speculating that it could have been Gunther. Look, man, I miss Gunther. I don't know what the hell's going on with Gunther. I don't know if he's injured or just taking some time off. But a lot of people were speculating that it was Gunther. Unfortunately, that was not the case. And we all saw what happened with WWE finally revealing the clips combined, if you will, which would have been the commercial for WrestleMania 42. My thought process with this, number one, it was funny because a lot of people were just, speculating the most craziest things in the world of who these people were in these clips that WWE were showing, as far as it being Jericho, Andrade, Gunther, Santos Escobar, so on and so forth. But as far as WrestleMania, man, my thing is this. I was never a big fan when they made the announcement that they were going to go back to Vegas and have this residency in Vegas where they're literally going to have a back-to-back WrestleMania in the same place, in the same stadium, back-to-back years. I just think it's bullshit, to be honest. Two, with that residency, it takes away from a lot of other cities around the world that are trying to host a WrestleMania. I remember distinctly when The Rock came out on Monday Night Raw and announced that WrestleMania, I think it was supposed to be WrestleMania 42, that was supposed to take place in New Orleans. So when you're a wrestling fan, especially living in the New Orleans area, you're excited. You know what I mean? You're happy as shit, man. You're like, oh man, WrestleMania is coming to my city. I'm going to go to WrestleMania. And it's not like WrestleMania hasn't been there before in New Orleans, but New Orleans does play a vital role in some WrestleManias. It's had some good WrestleManias in the past, and they've gone to New Orleans. So I feel like if I was a fan, especially living in the New Orleans area, and knowing that, WWE seemingly just swept the rug underneath your feet and said, nah, we're not going to go to New Orleans. Instead, we're going to Vegas. I think if I was a fan living in New Orleans, I'd be pissed off, man, to be honest, because it's like, why would you make this announcement when it's basically like you're teasing them. Like, okay, we're going to New Orleans, but here we are now. We're going to sweep the rug underneath your feet, and now we're going to Las Vegas. I just think it was a slap in the face, not only to the city of New Orleans, but the fans that live in the city of New Orleans. I just thought it was a bullshit move. WrestleMania is a spectacle, man. It needs to go to every single city. We already know that WrestleMania is going over to Saudi Arabia here soon. And Saudi Arabia had paid to have WrestleMania over there, which we all knew eventually it was going to happen. There's people even in the UK that are still pretty much salivating at the fact that they're trying to get a WrestleMania over in London, which, to be honest, I'm surprised even till this day that WrestleMania hasn't been in London. It's a huge wrestling market over there. They haven't really had a big time event over in England in a while. So, especially, they never had WrestleMania there. I remember, I think it was SummerSlam years and years ago, which was pretty much sold out. I think it was Brett defending the Intercontinental Championship against the British Bulldog in England. I think it was SummerSlam, if I'm not mistaken, but again, it was a long time ago. I'm not sitting here saying they haven't had events in England, but they never had a WrestleMania in England. So we could also see that. But to me, it's having the residency, man. It's just it takes away the excitement for WrestleMania, in my honest opinion. Now, they shot this commercial where we saw the likes of Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Brock Lesnar, which I thought was great. Look, man, there's no way in hell, for those people, and again, I'm against it too. I wasn't happy when Lesnar returned to WWE because I didn't like the situation, number one, and B, we didn't need him. But there's no way in hell that come WrestleMania 42 this year that you're not going to put Brock Lesnar on that card. Lesnar's going to be a part of WrestleMania 42 in some kind of capacity. What that's going to be, still time's going to tell. But he will be at WrestleMania 42, for sure. But like I said, man, I thought the commercial was put together very well. Like I said, I think WWE's production is miles and miles ahead of what everybody else is doing right now, obviously. They have a great production over in WWE. So I thought the commercial was cool, to be honest. I just thought it was kind of crazy how people were just literally at the floodgates, man, just speculating on, oh, it's Chris Jericho, oh, it's Santos Escobar, oh, it's Gunther. No, not at all. You know what I mean? So I think for me, honestly, like I said, the commercial was cool. WrestleMania 42 obviously is right around the corner, not too far from here. Not too long from now, I should say. So I thought the commercial was put together very well. I really did. And like I mentioned earlier, with the people speculating about Chris Jericho, look, man, for what it's worth, I'm 100% on boat with y'all. I'm on the same board with y'all. I think Jericho is coming back to WWE, but not right now. I think Jericho is going to be leaving AEW once his contract's up in December, and Jericho will make his return back to WWE at the Royal Rumble. And then that's going to be Jericho's pretty much, he might sign a 2-3 year deal, but we're going to be in the process of his retirement tour when he returns back to WWE. He's going to return, he's going to go in the Hall of Fame, and then he's going to ride off in the sunset. But I can 100% see Jericho coming back to WWE. There's nothing left more for Jericho to do in AEW. And for those that are like, oh, there's plenty of, matches on the table for Jericho and AEW? No, there's not, bro. Jericho would be wasting his career away remaining in AEW. There's nothing else left for the guy to do. He was the first ever AEW World Champion. He's been there literally since day one, since AEW's existence. And to be honest with you, this might be a hot take too, bro, but I think if it wasn't for the name of Chris Jericho, AEW might not have been on TBS or TNT when this all first came together. Jericho was a big-time player for AEW when they first came into existence. He was a big-time deal. Whether you like the guy or you hate him, Jericho was that guy who was a household name, who's been wrestling all over the world, different promotions from ECW to WCW, obviously WWE, former, world champion, former intercontinental champion. I mean, he had the legacy going into AEW. So when AEW and the powers that be with Tony Khan brought in someone like Jericho, Jericho was, at that time, the mouthpiece for AEW. He was the guy that put them on the map, whether you like the guy or not. And honestly, like I said, I think without someone of the likes of Jericho, I don't know if AEW would have been on TNT or TBS. I think Jericho was a major part and component of AEW getting on TNT and TBS. He was a day one guy. And I remember the press conference, man. I remember when Jericho showed up in Jacksonville. People lost their minds seeing the likes of Chris Jericho in AEW, standing at that podium, giving that speech, announcing AEW to the world. I remember that press conference like it was yesterday. And Jericho was a big-time player in what AEW was doing in the first 3 years of its existence. Jericho's probably been in probably the best storylines of all of AEW, to be honest. And he honestly, for what it's worth, Jericho kind of kept that company afloat. Now, his tenure before he kind of took a little hiatus, I mean, a lot of people were calling for him to retire. They were tired of seeing the Jericho Appreciation Society or the Learning Tree shit. We were tired of seeing it. And that's why I said for Jericho, if he decides to stay with AEW, you would have to ask yourself as a fan, what is more left for him to do in AEW? Nothing at this point. Jericho versus Ospreay, hard pass. Swerve and Jericho, hard pass. There's nothing else left for Chris Jericho to do in AEW. As far as WWE, yeah, there's some matches on the table. I mean, a lot of people were talking about the fact of having some kind of program here between Jericho, when he returns to WWE, to have a program here with LA Knight. I think it'd be great. Jericho can bring back the Talk is Jericho. We have LA Knight. Both these guys are great on the microphone. They can sell the match. Perfect. It'd be great for LA Knight, and it'd be great for Chris Jericho. Absolutely. Because a lot of people obviously then will be talking about the return of Jericho, and a lot of people will be talking about LA Knight. I gave my standpoint on LA Knight when I did my Raw review, that I think, LA Knight should be the guy that's challenging CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event. Not Jey Uso. You know what I mean? So imagine bringing in someone like Jericho, shake things up a little bit. I mean, hell, bro, for all intents and purposes, we could see Chris Jericho versus the likes of CM Punk in WWE. Again, big money match. Not against it. Not against it at all. Jericho versus Gunther. Not against it. Jericho versus Seth Rollins. Not against it. You know what I mean? Like, there's still matches on the table in WWE that Jericho can have. Jericho versus AJ Styles would also be a very interesting matchup if Jericho does decide to return back to WWE. Jericho versus Dominic Mysterio. Again, very good matchup. Not against it. So there's matches on the table, definitely for sure, for Jericho that would be very intriguing if he does decide to return back to WWE. Jericho and Rhodes, sure. Absolutely. But if you're looking at apples and oranges, comparing it to AEW to WWE, there's a lot more for Jericho to do in WWE than there is AEW. Absolutely. So I just wanted to get my news and my thoughts on the whole commercial that was shot for WWE for WrestleMania 42. The entire process of everybody just talking about it and making all these steps, making these announcements on who they think the people are that are walking into this room based upon people walking in and all you're seeing is their shoes. It just got the internet world going crazy. So I just thought it was funny. I wanted to give my take on it. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of news going on right now in WWE. It's kind of stale right now. But I just thought this was funny. I wanted to give you guys my opinion about it, which, again, I thought was funny. But like I said, man, at the end of the day, like I said, Jericho, obviously it wasn't Jericho in the video, but do I see Jericho returning back to WWE? Absolutely. We know Santos Escobar is going to be making his return back to Monday Night Raw here sometime soon. Because he had re-signed his contract with WWE, even though he was kind of using AEW as leverage. They brought him back. I knew it wasn't Andrade. I mean, honestly, for those people that thought it was Andrade, man, I don't know, man. I feel like Andrade kind of left WWE in some bad terms, especially with the whole wellness policy thing, and one of the reasons why he got let go and fired from WWE. So I didn't think they were going to use that kind of money or production on Andrade. And two, I just feel like Andrade and WWE kind of had a falling out. And I feel like now, unfortunately, Andrade is AEW's problem at this point, to be honest with you. And Andrade is going to be waiting it out over a year because of this new non-compete clause for WWE. So he's going to be on the shelf possibly for a year from WWE. So I don't know, man. I thought it was kind of funny. I wanted to give you my thoughts on it. Like I said, right now with the wrestling news, it's kind of stale right now, but I just wanted to give you my opinion on this and my thoughts on it because I thought it was absolutely hilarious. But again, man, I thought the commercial was shot very well. And I am definitely excited to see what's going to happen at WrestleMania 42 because it is the show of shows, man. It is the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. But with that being said, this is my news and rumors specifically about WWE. I hope you guys are out there staying safe. Be careful and remember, stay classic. Peace.